I just feel like Jordan Peterson is like a figure that should be like left alone and like respected in a weird way. I don't know why. Just like let him do his thing, you know. He has like a
I think he has like some he has some good points, but like I don't take him like as like the Bible. I used to listen to him a lot, but then the more I listen to him, like you said, like we're free thinkers. The more I listen to him, the more like there's like a lot of points that he brings up that I disagree with.
I agree. Yeah, he has like some really good teachings and some that I don't agree with, but I think that overall he's been like a good figure in my opinion.
Yeah.
Overall,
like I don't think he's
let's like leave him alone, you know what I mean? I feel like, don't you feel like he's a figure that like should be respected in a weird way? Like I feel like Jordan Peterson is like a fatherly figure in society. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like he needs to be left alone and like respected. Like leave him alone. He's also a very sensitive person if you like actually watch his interviews, and to be like that deep kind of thinker, like it must be very challenging for him.
I think he should be left alone because I think he formulates his thoughts and opinions in a way where I genuinely don't think he means to be offensive.
Yeah, he doesn't mean harm. He's just like a genuinely curious person about the world, and he's trying his best to do good.
Right.
To do good.
Like he's not saying things to be
rowdy,
to like trigger someone,
no.
Or like to stir the pot. Like no. He genuinely believes his rhetoric. He believes like his topics, and he's saying it from like a intellectual point of view, like his studies and all that, because he is a professor. Like he's not saying it to be like, oh, I'm gonna say this because I know it's gonna trigger some emotion from this group of people. Like he's saying it because he truly believes like it is what it is.
And I also think that Jordan Peterson is open-minded enough to have a discussion with somebody where he would probably appreciate if somebody was smart enough and had good enough reasoning to make him change his mind. Like he's open-minded enough and curious enough that he would do that. But I feel like it's challenging when you're such an intellectual person because nobody can match your IQ. So even if there are ideas out there that would work against him, it's like nobody can stand competition to his intellectual ability. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like he means well and he's open-minded and curious enough and he wants to do the right thing, but a lot of people don't know how to argue with him in a way which is coherent and makes sense. Like, I just feel like he's very smart, and like, how are you supposed to have a conversation with somebody who is going to annihilate you in conversation? You are like an intellectual wizard.
I feel like he is really intellectual, like he's intelligent, but I don't think he's open-minded.
You don't think so?
I think he's open to discussion, but I don't think like it would be very, 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 very hard to change his mind. And it's not because you're not smart enough for him, but it's like I feel like he already has his mindset in like a certain way, like it's been set in stone for him, whereas like you really got to be moving mountains to change his mind. Like I don't even think he would consider it. Like he would just tell you like this is why you're wrong.
I feel like if somebody had legitimate arguments to stand up against him, he would think about it.
I guess.
You don't think so? I mean, I don't know. I don't know him. I just think that like I think that he's
just from his few interviews, I feel like he's very much like, you know what, he'll listen to you, but then he'll like tell you why this is incorrect.
Yeah, but like I feel like if somebody was able to stand up against his argument in a legitimate way, what is he gonna do? You can't stand up to him.
Yeah, but we're not all like black and white and like in the books. We're not all just like based, like we're all human individual. Like he was think of like I think there was like this one thing he brought up where it's like men needs a hierarchy and like we're like lobsters and all that.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
It was like, yeah, it might be true for like the general. Like I think his rhetoric is like it applies to like maybe like the masses, but like as like when you break down individually, it might not work. Like we don't all feel that way,
right? So
like it's really hard to convince someone who's like he looks at everything from a very much like a statistics. This is what it is as a whole,
right?
Versus like if you tell him like, oh, this is how I feel, but he's like, oh, you know what, like this is how you feel, but like evolutionary and like hierarchy, like I hear like just like knowledge bomb you, and you'll be like, oh shit.
Oh.
Like it's very much like gaslighting.
Maybe it's coming off as gaslighting because
no, it's like you might have an opinion and he'll tell you like, why don't you clean your room?
They'll just tell you why you're wrong.
No, like, oh, you know what? I think this might be good for the society. He'll tell you like, why?
Right.
Why don't you just clean your room? like clean your room first.
I don't know.
You know,
Maybe.
like I understand that point of view. Like, why do you think your thoughts is important enough to influence society when you can't even clean your own room? Like, I understand his thought process, but it's like it's very like narrow-minded.
I just feel like the standpoint that he's coming from is trying to find truth and trying to help people. That is a good basis for which to have discussions. So I don't feel like he's a villain, and like I don't feel like he's overly attached to his ego and wanting to be right necessarily. I don't know. I haven't really watched anything of his in like a really long time. I have not kept up with him at all.
No, like I said, like I don't think the stuff he says is based off of any like ego or like villainous rhetoric. It's just like this is what he truly believes in. That's what I'm saying, is you're gonna be hard pressed to convince him otherwise, because he truly believes in his way.
Yeah. But
so I don't think,
but think about it. It's like he's probably worked like 65 years to figure out why he believes what he believes and develop his philosophy on life. So it makes sense.
Yeah, so like is he truly open-minded? Like, he's open to discussion, but I don't think his mind is open to be changed.
You have a point.
I think he just has discussion to tell you his ways. Like, he's not having a discussion to be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go in here expecting my mind to be changed.
Yeah, I just feel like he's evolved so far now that he's just on his whole other plane and like developed his completely
like an alien,
his completely own philosophy on life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I understand why he's like set in it, and I feel like there's lots of good that has come out of his teachings.